begin with a moment of silence. Thank you. And I want to ask Rick to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, review and adoption of the agenda. And we need to put an award presentation. Let's put it between public comments and public hearing. Call it 5D.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as with the addition.
All in favor? Thank you. Approval of minutes. I believe everyone was here for all of these, correct? So I can do them all at one time. I hope so.
It's fine.
Okay, approval of the minutes for May 13th, 2024 special meeting, May 20th, 2024 special meeting, May 20th, 2024 regular meeting, and May 20th, 2024 closed session. Make a motion whenever you're ready.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
All in favor? Thank you. Public comments? No public comment.
I do.
Oh, okay.
I'll go a little bit.
Okay. Closed session.
So, what is your name? You've got the Power Generation Research Group.
That's the company name. My name is Ray Conrad.
Ray Conrad. Okay. Step up. You have 3 minutes.
Well, good evening. My name is Ray Conrad. I represent PD Power Research, PD Power Generation Research Group. We had bought the property at 101 First Street Place across from the fire department. And it's about a 25,000 square foot building. It seems to me, we had bought it 3 years ago. It seems to me that this may be one of the largest unutilized space in this town. I personally had several meetings with, at the time, Mr. Justice, the planner, to get basically the lowdown on the property, the situation it was in. It hadn't been taken care of. There was a lot of homeless people in there, drugs, prostitution. I think they came from the clubs directly to that building. Took me a long time to get them out. I actually noticed in the last 3 years that the total population of the homeless had actually gone down in this town. When I first bought it, they could walk up and down the street using the railroad tracks to go to that property. I've kicked out 20 or 30 of them several times. And so far, I think I've succeeded in detouring them. Mostly. At first, I had 2 or 3 a day come in there. Now, every couple of weeks, I'll find somebody in there. Had a couple issues with the trespassers. Officer Tillery actually has met me, and we've gotten along, and he's been nothing but kind and professional. Although I've had several deputies on the property that weren't. I was threatened by one deputy that if I didn't let the trespassers through my property, they were gonna arrest me and tow my vehicle. The last one was, if I didn't let the person through, they were gonna arrest me for kidnapping. And in my view, it just makes business a lot harder to do in a situation like that, especially when you have a known hangout for trespassers. I had talked to a local person, in fact, she used to sit on this bench here, Mrs. Banks. She's one of my neighbors.
About 15 seconds.
Okay, and anyways, I get down to the bottom line is, I think there's a problem with that water tower. It's an eyesore. I'd love to take it down. I'd like to get rid of it. I understand there's several people that would like to get rid of it. And I've been having a problem with Duke Power because they have lines right in front of it. It's the only way it can go down. And
You have restrictions.
if anybody has any suggestions or advice from me, I'd highly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Now, is this the old mill,
Yes.
Hildebran Poster Mill?
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to place it,
The
okay,
big water tower.
yeah, okay. All right, if that is all the public comment. As I said, we have an award. Logan, you wanna read your stuff first? You want me to?
Yeah, I'll read first. So, we do have a special recognition tonight to Sharon Barlow Elliott and Walk and Roll Activity Leagues for 30 years of service, as well as, in the past few weeks, receiving the Governor's Award for exceptional volunteer service. This award is for people and groups that make a significant contribution to their community through volunteer service. And something else of note for Sharon and for WRAL is that in the past, they've also received the Paul Harris Fellow Award from the Rotary Foundation of the Rotary International. Groups and individuals receive this award when they or someone on their behalf conveys at least $1,000 or more to the Rotarians Fund. So we just wanted to acknowledge Sharon, her contributions to the community, to folks with disabilities, and then Wendell has an award to present to her.
And I thought I'd let you show everybody our awards.
Okay.
Wendell, do you want to hold these while she holds that one, or vice
Yeah,
versa?
you pulled it by the base there, thank you. Now, we'll hold these, okay.
And we have a walking stick that was given to us by the Burke County Commissioner
Okay.
as a part of recognition.
Ronnie, do you want
I'll take it up for you. You come up here, you can hold the walking stick.
to, well, I'll take a picture of it.
So, you got been recognized, but we want to recognize you as the town too. So, presented to Sharon Barlow Elliott and the Walk and Roll Activities League Incorporated for 30 years of service, 1994 to 2024, presented this 24th day of June 2024, the Town of Hildebran Town Council.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
And you're very deserving.
Thank you. Come hang out with us. And I'll let you borrow the stick.
All right, and now I open this public hearing for the fiscal year 24-25 budget and schedule of fees. I officially open this public hearing. And is there anyone from the public who has any comment? Or staff or anybody? All right. Hearing none, I will close this public hearing. And we will move on to old business. Consider approval of the fiscal year 24-25 budget and schedule of fees ordinances.
I make a motion to approve the fiscal year 24-25 budget and schedule of fees and ordinance.
All right. All in favor? All right, thank you. Now go to 8, new business. 8A, code enforcement quarterly review, Chad Powell.
Mayor and council members, it's good to see everybody. You have before you our June report has future photos of our latest violations from the month of June, as well as our quarterly report for the second quarter of 2024. Just a brief breakdown of our numbers from this quarter. We had 44 total violations, 15 tall grass, 16 trash, junk, debris, etc. 1 minimum housing violation, 12 junk vehicles. Our resolved violations for the second quarter, we had 32 of 44 violations resolved for 72% resolution rate for this quarter. We've got our list, full list of the violations that were sent out for this quarter. I've got that on the next couple of pages up there. And you guys can feel free to look over those materials. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. One other thing that I wanted to do tonight, I wanted to introduce Kevin White. He's our newest code enforcement officer. I'm still going to be around, but Kevin is probably going to be taking over the primary for Hildebran starting next month. We're expanding as a department. We're taking on a couple other towns and things. We're shifting responsibilities around. So Kevin is probably going to be primary for Hildebran. I'm still going to be around. I'm not going anywhere, but you guys may not see me as much as you have. But like I said, I will be around. If anybody has anything for me, any questions, comments, or anything, reach out to me.
Chad, I did notice the houses behind Happy Day came down.
Yeah, I was glad to see that myself. I've been noticing the progress over there with the sign and stuff removed, and then I found out that DH Griffin was doing the demolition, so I knew it was going to be done right. But that is definitely a welcome sign.
Yep.
Can I ask something? How long do you give them to clean their messes up, like you talk about the violations?
It
I'm just
depends.
curious.
It depends.
But you do follow up with, I'm just curious.
Yeah, when I send a letter, I'll usually follow up. If I don't get any response at all, I'll send another letter that's basically the order that lays it out in particular, how much time they have and when they need to have it done.
And then what, if they don't? I'm just curious.
If somebody don't, and
You
I
go
don't
take
have
care
any,
of it? Well,
some things, yeah, there's a lot of, rules and guidelines and things I have to jump through to get things done. Some things can be summary abated if it's a health or safety issue. Typically some things may require an ordinance to get cleaned up. Usually I'll issue fines and then take somebody to court for the fines. That
okay, that's
usually,
interesting. I think it is. I was curious.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
it's
time.
a long process. It's usually not quick.
Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. 8B, consider approval of ordinance to vacate and close property.
Okay, so this property is located at 9147 Wilson Heights Avenue. The situation with this place is it was severely fire damaged several months back, probably last year sometime. The new owner obtained the property after it had been fire damaged. The previous owner, I guess, wasn't able to get anything done with it, so they just sold it to the new owner as is. He is working to renovate the property and get it, repaired and livable again. but however, it is nowhere close to being to that point. So what this ordinance basically does, the only thing that I would have to do to effectuate this ordinance is to post these placards on the property and keep an eye on it. The property owner will have basically a year to get, squared away. And if they, after a year of this ordinance being adopted, if the property is still where it's at now, if it's not improved and it's nowhere close, then we can pursue other options, maybe get it torn down. But for right now, the owner, he is not absent. He is working on it. He has been in contact with me. And if this ordinance is adopted, like I said, the only thing I would have to do is go out and placard it. He's gonna work with me to get that done and to continue working on it and do the work that it needs to get done to make it livable again.
All right, so we need a motion and vote.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Thank you.
I'll get these placards put up as soon as possible.
Thank you for the job you've done.
Thank you.
All right, 8C, consider approval of contract with Western Piedmont Council of Governments for administrative assistance for the Rural Downtown Economic Development Grant, the auditorium renovation project.
Yeah, I'll speak on that for just a second. The Council of Governments has presented this contract for services, like you said, for the Rural Downtown Economic Development Grant via the North Carolina Department of Commerce for the auditorium renovations. This is a 5% total match grant, the same as our last ones for the $300,000 grant, but it would be for the exact same services, for administration, reporting, and then payment requests for reimbursements. So same setup as last time, same amount, 5% of the 62.5, and then we would need a motion to vote from council to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with Western Piedmont Council of Governments.
All in favor? Thank you. 8D, consider approval of resolutions leasing town property.
I have a correction to one of them.
Sure.
It's the one with Don Barber. His certificate of insurance came in as Carolina Police K9 LLC. So everywhere the resolution says Donald Barber, I have changed that to say Carolina Police K9 LLC to match his certificate of insurance.
Okay. So we need a motion and vote on this.
Can we have discussion on the HXDA 5-year?
We can have discussion on anything.
One thing I'm concerned about is setting precedents. If any of the other renters are asking for 5-year, are we gonna give it to everybody if we do it for one? I don't know if that's likely to happen, but something to think about.
I feel like if they bring it before the council, it can be discussed whether they do or not.
So they discuss.
Yeah, if they've done before the council, yes.
Okay. And then the amount of rent is gonna stay the same for 5 years. If we have to increase any of the other rents, are we gonna let them just have the 5 years for the same rent?
I'm not opposed to having a little fall in there if all, these rates go up by a small percentage that they would follow suit. That's just right.
Should there also be something in there, if any other of our renters would like an extension? I know Jarrett at one of the previous meetings mentioned that if it was offered for one group, it would need to be offered for the other groups.
As long as they were in compliance, and, this was more of an issue, I guess, for the council to discuss, because it's a little bit of a different relationship than, say, some of the other short year leases. Given the exchange, sort of the back and forth that they provide, the town provides, HHDA, and they provide for the town. So I think you can differentiate that from, say, some of the private individuals. But that's more of a town council issue to discuss.
Okay.
That, what your policy would be.
Okay.
Legally, I think you're fine, but that's more of a policy.
I didn't really hear that question. Can you restate it?
I think his question was, if we offer an extension for one, we need to offer the same for someone else. And I think that, at that point, it would be something, again, that we brought before the council.
That's what.
And then you
That's what we just
determine.
said a minute ago, if you brought, they could bring it for council, the decision be made at that time.
And then at that point, you consider what benefited whatever that person or group had to the town, what, that sort of thing.
Any other discussion?
Do we need to take these leases in order? First one I have on my desk is on the water, I mean, do we need to vote on each individual one, or do we vote for all of them across the board?
In the past, it's a one swoop. So you, unless you intentionally want to vote on one out of the
No,
group.
it's just separated on the list.
Yeah, it should be all as what, 8D, unless you want to handle it differently.
So if you want to vote yes on all of them except that one, how do you go about that?
You would, the way it's presented, you would want to have a vote to remove that one for a separate vote. Council would need to, 3-2 approve that it be separated out, and then you would vote on each of the two separately. Does that sound?
I'll make a motion that we vote on the HHDA 5-year separately.
All right, you heard the motion, all in favor?
What, to vote on one separate?
Mhm.
I want to let vote on it separate, be fine.
All opposed?
Wait, I'm sorry, who was,
I didn't vote for
so I got Jody and Ben.
it. Oops.
I got Jody and Ben in favor of Jody's motion.
Yes.
Was everybody else opposed, or
And Terry voted.
Terry voted? Okay.
Mike, did you vote for it?
You were opposed?
No, we'll vote separate, that's fine.
Okay, so that's you.
No, I think.
No, Mike,
Was it your?
I was gonna vote on all of them one time.
Okay, so you're, okay.
So I guess you would vote on the majority first. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's whichever you want, whoever makes the motion, I suppose.
I think you're voting on all the one-year leases together is what you're doing.
We'll make a motion to approve the one-year leases. as presented.
Well, with the one amendment to Don Barber's.
Yeah, with the changes made on board.
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you.
Make a motion to approve the 5-year lease for HHDA for the basement auditorium.
All right, all in favor? And opposed?
And is that as presented?
As presented.
Okay. There was discussion about increases, so you're doing it as presented.
Do we want to make some,
Three or four.
the discussion was maybe yearly on July 1st. There could be, if all the other leasees have a
If there's a across the board increase by 1% or something like that, then we can carry out class for that too.
so we can modify that with an amendment. Is that okay, or do we need the specific language now?
But I don't know that we've modified any leases in 15 years.
I say rescind your motion, the original motion, and then restate it with the increase option. So rescind the motion that you just made to approve it as presented.
Okay. I'd like to send a motion to approve it as presented and make the motion to approve it as presented with the addition of the ability of the town to increase it at the same rate other leases are increased. So,
And on each anniversary of every year, each anniversary of the lease.
Beginning July 1st.
Beginning
that's
July
the
1st.
other.
Okay.
you want to, yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Consider approval of ordinance for urban camping and improper use of public places.
Yeah, so I'll speak to it. You do have a memo that outlines the issues, but this is something that council members have brought up and some issues we've seen in the past. In terms of individuals misusing public spaces, that's currently owned by the town of Hildebran. Just to name a few, Hickory, Newton, Charlotte, and other municipalities have adopted urban camping ordinances, very similar or exact language that's presented tonight. Did create the memo that discusses it, which is attached herein if you have questions. But just to brief the memo content, it discusses the continuous issues Hildebran has experienced with individuals storing personal belongings on public spaces, sleeping on public spaces, blocking the entrance or exit of a public space in terms of the ingress and egress, and then individuals disposing of waste or personal property on the public spaces. The urban camping language allows for an officer to provide a verbal warning to the violator and then charge them with a misdemeanor as set forth in General Statute 14-4.
That's like for our sleepers out here on.
That would be one of the, yeah. Yes, so staff has brought it at council's request, but we do need a motion and a vote to adopt it.
I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance for urban camping and improper use of public places.
All in favor? Thank you. 8F, consider approval of quote to replace AC fabric air ducts in the auditorium.
So this one, we had a meeting last month, a special meeting, and it was brought up about the fabric air ducts, replacing those, and probably doing that a little quicker than some of the other work, given the status of it. So Perkins Heating and Air has presented a quote to replace the fabric air ducts in the auditorium. This was, again, going to be part of the project, but we pulled that out, given Mr. Bentley's concerns at the last special meeting last month. Staff has worked with Perkins Heating and Air to perform it as soon as possible. Previous concerns regarding the replacement of the fabric air ducts were related to cost. So we had thought at some point it was going to be $100,000, $200,000. That was some of the discussions we had at some of the previous budget retreats. The current quote is $29,925, which is again much lower than the figures we talked about. The current issue is, number one, we just need a motion vote to approve the quote and to go ahead and get that work started. Kathy Stallings of CAST has requested to use the auditorium, I believe between July 1st and August 11th. I don't know that would push it back that much. It may push it back a little bit. They could start theoretically sometime in the last week of July or the first week of June. So maybe put you back a couple weeks, and that's for the air ducts. But it would be possible to push it back to August 12th if you wanted to.
If they're ready to start work,
I think they
no.
start.
don't those to work, but we need to get going, get started.
I thought we voted last time, not to lease it out anymore after this last
I
week.
thought it was supposed to be closed, you
It
know.
was done.
We had reached a consensus that it was. She's put that request before staff, so I wanted to bring it to you, but we can, it's up to council. So we would approve the work and start it as soon as possible. Is that
That's my,
Yes.
okay? We would need a motion.
I'll make a motion, as soon as the work can be started, get started.
All right, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
Can I ask one question? If that's the case, how soon can we get the receipts out?
That's down here somewhere on our list.
Okay, I'll wait.
You were wanting,
Yeah,
that's on my list here. Don't worry.
I mean, you want,
Yeah,
Three sets of four. I think didn't Johnny talk to you about?
12, I think, is the total.
Well,
recess.
oh, we want to put one in the museum. One set of four.
okay, 8G, consider approval of budget amendments to move funds from the auditorium funds to the Royal Park Fund.
The two budget amendments you have are currently the SCIF funds are in the auditorium fund. We had named it just the SCIF fund prior to getting any additional auditorium grants. The way that grant has been given to the state is you can use it for the park or the auditorium. So we've left that open-ended for councils where you need it. During the budget retreats, we talked about using those funds towards the park. The remaining funds, there's like 3,000 or 4,000 that we've used for the auditorium, for the design of it. But the rest of the funds to use towards the park, we'll need to move those out of the auditorium fund into the park fund. And so you have two budget amendments, one for each fund showing that it's coming out of the auditorium. So you've got a budget amendment showing it out of the auditorium fund, within the auditorium fund budget, and then one budget amendment showing it going into the park fund from the auditorium fund. So only a motion vote to approve those two.
So we need two motions, or just one?
I would do two motions.
We can do two,
Okay.
just to approve.
I make a motion to approve budget amendment to move funds from auditorium funds to the Royal Park Fund.
All in favor? All right, thank you. And then the second motion,
Would be to move the SCIF funds into the park fund from the auditorium fund. Just be worded in reverse.
all right,
I make a motion to move the money from the SCIF funds out of the auditorium to the park fund, Royal Park Fund.
all right, all in favor? All right, thank you. Consider approval of budget amendment to accept additional rural transformation grant funds to the auditorium fund.
So just like the last one, this amendment's procedural. It's just showing that we were awarded the grant. We're putting it in the budget for use on the auditorium project. We'll need a motion vote.
I make a motion to put the money from the SCIF fund into the auditorium fund.
Well, it'll be for the acceptance of the rural transformation grant.
Rural transformation, right?
All right, all in favor? All right, thank you. 8I, consider approval of resolution for conveyance of personal property to nonprofit. That's where we're gonna give the museum
Yeah,
12 seats.
Yeah, the current one reads as 4, but if you want to amend it to 12, if you want to pass it with the amendment to 12, that's fine.
I'll make that motion with amendment 12 seats.
All in favor? J, consider approval of surplus personal property worth less than $30,000.
Yeah, so for the remaining seats, and this is something that, if we had another nonprofit that wanted the seats, we may want to talk about that, but, what we did is, Alice and I spoke to Krista, Kukaro of the North Carolina, or the UNC School of Government. She's a professor there, she worked at the School of Government. So in terms of how do you surplus the seat? Like, what is the legal avenue? Because there's about 30 of them. And they require different things depending on who you're giving the seats to, or can you give them to them, or can you not? So we spoke with her to determine the best option to allow the new seating provider to remove and dispose of the existing seats that weren't going to be donated to HHDA. So Valdez had looked at similar options, and I know we talked about at one point upholstering them versus removing them, and could that be an option? So I did just look into it just for the clarification of it, but both Kellex Furniture and Shenandoah Furniture worked with Valdez on possibly upholstering their seats, but they were gonna be more expensive to upholster them than to replace them. So I asked them, okay, well, what process did you go through to get rid of your existing seat? And so they actually did exactly what Bach has proposed, where you hire the new seating company to come in and dispose of the existing seat. And so you would surplus that in the form of a motion in the way that it's presented on the agenda, which is surplus personal property worth less than $30,000, which it is. And we need a motion and a vote.
Make motion to approve surplus personal property worth less than 30,000.
All in favor? All right, thank you. I was gonna bring up something, I don't know where to bring it up, but I think it'd be great if we had the same wooden floors, just refinish them rather than cover them up. You still have carpet in the aisles, but I don't know what y'all think about it.
I guess it just depends on cost, what the cost difference is.
I guess we can
That's
find
something
out.
we look into.
Is it, what you would have to do is have Bach put in a alternate bid in the bid documents to have someone bid on that in terms of giving you a price for it. And then you could have your base bid, and then if you wanted to alter it with or keep the existing floor, they could put in a price for that versus just putting in a new floor. If you want.
Did they figure in that as far as the acoustical treatment? I mean, that would make a difference.
In terms of what type of flooring you've got, I'd have to ask the architect to figure that out.
Oh, because I know we're having to put panels on the walls already, I think it's, so.
Are you saying carpet on the whole floor?
Well, no, I mean, that's, I didn't know.
Because I think it's still a lot of things on the carpet.
Oh, I think the wood floor would be much nicer, but I don't know if acoustically if they figured that in.
I think once the acoustics of that part of it's addressed and fixed like it should have been, I think that would be okay.
Yeah,
I
the
like
way,
the thought of re-sanding the old floors and finish them, because we had that done in our house, and it's beautiful.
the current plan was to put another hard surface down, not
Not
necessarily,
necessarily wood.
yeah, not necessarily a wood, but some type of hard surface. So it wouldn't be carpet regardless, but I don't know the difference in one flooring versus the other on acoustics. I have no clue. But you could put that in as an alternate, just to have them come in, fix, repair, and then keep the existing flooring, if you wanted to.
And then still put carpet in the aisles, so.
Yeah, leave the carpet where you're gonna put the carpet.
Well, there'd be something else, a hard floor would be something else they can clean up, where people spill drink and all that.
Yeah, you would have hard surface regardless, but it's just the existing flooring being redone, the cost of that versus putting in a new flooring over it. That would be your cost difference.
Did you have a question?
I was going to make a recommendation if I could, one something to consider when the time comes. If you can give the flooring company one giant empty roof, all seats removed, all impediments removed, they can go in and do the whole floor at once, and it's done in a week, and you get a far better job and a lot less money.
Will you take that into consideration, easy, yeah?
All right. Okay, 8K, appoint planning board of adjustment alternate position. And you have in your packet the gentleman who applied, his, what do you call that, form he filled out?
Application.
Application, thank you.
That's all right. And this is Mr. Cook sitting over here.
Oh, hello.
He's the applicant.
Just need a motion and vote.
I make a motion to appoint the planning board adjustments alternate position.
Okay, all in favor?
Who's that?
Thank you. All right. 8L, June facilities report. That is in your packet. 8M, May tax report. In your packet also. 8N, May deputy report. I don't guess there's any comment on any of those. There is speak now.
78 East. Just need to destroy it.
Okay, 8O, committee reports. Technical coordinating committee,
Yes, so the last month, the TCC met on May 29th at 1 p.m. Business included, transportation improvement, programming revisions, and introduction, of the regional comprehensive highway safety plan, lab application scores, STIP funding updates, and division updates. I have sent that out, that packet, to each of the council members, so if you want to review it, have any questions, send those to me or Avery, you can do that. But as a side note, I did speak with Avery Ritchie, the transportation director at the bond, regarding the town removing the Main Avenue East sidewalk project from the last fund zone. I know that's something we had voted to do, given the cost increase to both that project and the auditorium project and the park project, to remove that from funding consideration. It was an 80-20 matching grant, but during the site reviews, it had looked more like an $890,000 project versus a $500,000 project. So it was going to quadruple our funding responsibilities from $100,000 to about $500,000. So at that point, we talked about it in a budget retreat. Council had decided to forego that project and return the funds. We have not voted on it yet. We'll have to do that with a resolution. Then we will have to submit a letter to the TAC and the TCC. They'll have to do a public hearing on it, and then the following month they can take a vote to remove it. And as a side note, the reason I bring it up with this one is the city of Claremont just did the same thing at this past meeting. They had returned some sidewalk funds. So we'll look to have that resolution to council next month. We'll submit it to the TCC, TAC probably in August. The vendor review, they'll put a public hearing out in September and probably close it out in September or October. That's all I have.
all right. Transportation advisory committee,
I don't have anything to add, and our next meeting will be Wednesday.
Western Fremont Council Government Policy Board,
A meeting was last month. There was a second reading of the budget. There were updates on the interbasin water transfer, COG building expansion, and urgent repair program.
Burke Economic Development,
BDI reviewed their financials year to date. They have their 2024-2025 action plan of work. They reviewed the road work for the Burke Business Park. They expect that to finish up in the fall to one of the existing sites. They have hired a marketing position at BDI and revealed a marketing plan to increase outreach on both Facebook and LinkedIn. And then the last one that came up was they had reviewed housing prices, and the average new home price in Burke County for the last month was $400,000+, I think $439,000. The average at 7.23% interest. So that was worth it. That's all I got.
I've got my house.
Recreation and Tourism,
Up to the board.
Water Resource Committee, Vedic,
They met on May 23rd at the Valley's Town Hall. The meeting was called to order by Vice Chair Marla Thompson. Carrie conducted a financial review highlighting profit and loss and balance statements through April. The interest income is still on the rise. The grant report, the ARC, Carrie Long, we applied for it because they did a new grant to get up to $300,000. The Duke Energy grant, they did not, FedEx did not get that, and they're not reapplying for that. The RBDG grant is still pending, they upped that grant too. And emergency, review payments from clients, including updated delinquent report. Demand letters were sent by our attorney. No changes with payments for most of the clients. Eddie gave technical assistance to several clients. 2 loan modifications were approved, by the board. And Carrie requested temporary office help until she can find a qualified person for the office position. The next state board meeting will be Thursday, June the 26th this year, and that's it.
Library Board of Trustees, the meeting is tomorrow. Events Committee, that was just an hour ago.
Does anybody remember what happened?
I can't remember. I'm trying. Logan, you took notes.
Took some notes. So we're gonna start reaching out to bands for the parade. The main discussion items, the adoption of the agenda, the approval of the minutes. I did brief them on the groundbreaking ceremony. As a reminder, we planned that for July 17th at 10:30 a.m. And so council will all be there that morning, hopefully. And we're having the Byrd County Chamber of Commerce set it up, be the host of that ceremony. At the end of it, we'll do a couple speakers and then have council do a groundbreaking in your construction hats with your gold shovels. So it'll look professional, look good. They will start construction prior to that. It'll most likely start July 8th. But we'll have it out in the parking lot. We'll have a tent, chairs, biscuits, donuts, waters set out, and then a couple speakers again. So I briefed them on that. They're willing to come by that morning and volunteer, help out. Probably get there about 9:30. We're having about 40, 45 attendees. We'll have seating for at least 40. There'll be an invitation list that's sent out to a lot of the people who were involved. We briefly discussed the 2024 parade. So we're looking to reach out to the bands, looking at a grand marshal. One of the names that was brought up was Brand Lingerfeld. He recently retired and we had him as a.
He asked for George Hollowell to be the grand marshal. Brand actually asked for that.
Okay, I think that's fine with the committee, if Graham wants that.
So we're making an audible.
Yeah.
George Hollowell could possibly be the grand marshal.
Why can't they both,
Yeah, exactly.
why can't we do both of them?
So we're making another audible. We'll ask George and Brand to be.
Then maybe ride on the fire truck, cause we said the fire truck anyway, and there's room for both of them on the fire truck, so I see why not ask if we can do that. That'd be okay,
That works, yeah.
okay?
But in the future, can y'all cover those things in the committee meetings so we don't have to bring it into the council meeting?
Well, we have looked at Brand as an option, and the committee was good with that, but
But we want
Yeah.
council's approval of it, so you can only do that at council.
It's not on the agenda.
It's in the committee report.
So do we have to vote on it?
No,
well, it's an update like the others, but we're hoping to get. Yeah, then the next one we had was staff updates with the auditorium, and then updates for the council on that is. We're hoping to get the bid out sometime in July, have a pre-bid meeting on July 12th, and then have a bid turn-in of July 31st. So that's in the works. That's the proposed timeline. It could change as of right now. We have got the documents together, everything but the finished design work for electrical, plumbing, engineering, things like that. So once that's finished, if we can get that done in the next couple weeks, next week or so, we'll plan to have it out on July 12th. And then have the bids turned in on the 31st. And that was what we talked about.
Other business?
As a nonprofit, CAS has requested obtaining 20 to 25 seats from the auditorium.
Council wants 20 to 25 seats from the auditorium.
To be donated? To be
Yes.
Donated?
Yes.
We have to.
For a nonprofit?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it would depend on the purpose, like what they're being used for.
Okay.
Like, they couldn't turn around and resell them.
Do we know?
Yeah, they're just gonna use them for a project.
Okay.
We could look at it, but yeah, basically you would wanna make sure it's for a public purpose, that's the main deal with it. If you wanna handle it the same way that we handled it with HHCA. So that process just requires a 5-day notice, public notice before you adopt the resolution, assuming it's, again, for a public purpose.
Do we have to wait till they get all the seats out to get ours, or can we go in and get ours?
That's a good question for
Well,
council.
you're getting yours from the side where they're just 4 in a row.
Right, but I mean, can we go get them? Can we make an appointment or something, or set up some schedule where we can go get them? I mean, I got people we can go and unbolt them and get them out of there.
If that's.
I'll still have a problem with that.
Go for it.
And then one more question. Do we have any answer on the storage units yet?
They are ready to go, so we got them finished, I believe, last Thursday or Friday.
Oh,
So
good.
we can get you a key, get you a key and, get you access to
So we get to pick which one?
it. So it'll most likely be the end one, we've gotta get,
This end?
well, most likely the small one. We've gotta get the gator and our mower in there.
No, I mean, I would just hopefully getting it closer to this end of the building so it'd be easier us to haul.
Yeah, we can look at it.
Okay.
We can look at it.
I'll get with you, whatever's good for you, if you'll just let me know.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Any other business? Any announcements?
We did schedule the blood drive in the gym on Tuesday, July 16th from 2 to 6:30. There's information on our website, on our Facebook about how you can go and sign up if you want to be a donor. So our goal is 30 pints, so we really need people who can to participate and help get the word out for us.
You said that's on 16.
July 16th from 2 to 6:30. It's the day before the
6:30. Day before what?
The run.
Oh, okay. So we'll be faint.
Can
Okay.
you just walk in, can
Uh,
you just walk in and get blood, or do you have to like?
I would imagine that would be about.
Alice, is it blood one, or is it Red Cross? Which one is it? There's several different.
American Red Cross.
American Red Cross.
They take walk-in.
And one more announcement. So we got a email from Avery Ritchie with the Council of Governments. They have sent out a survey for people in the area to vote on projects that are priorities. I know if you're looking at the North Center Street 70 intersection, if you're looking at wanting to do the sidewalk improvements to North Center Street, if you're looking to do the passenger rail in the area of Hildebran, and then possible upgrades, I'm not exactly sure what they contain, considering they just did the upgrades, to the Main Avenue and South Center Street intersection. But if you're looking to do that, and you wanna make it a priority, I can send you a link that you can send out to other people. We can put it up on Facebook to have people vote. They go into the Hildebran section, click on those projects, put either yes or no as a priority, and then hit finish and submit. So if that's something that you're looking to push to possibly get that North Center Street bridge upgraded, they are taking input for that. I'll send that out to you.
Other announcements?
On that ordinance for the homeless, is us giving them a warning, the first warning, or do we have to contact Mr. Towery?
You go to the sheriff's department.
All right, okay.
But it's effective kind of immediately, or,
No,
Tomorrow, well, it'd be tomorrow.
yeah,
okay,
gotcha. I was actually outside with the code enforcement, so that's been approved.
Yep.
Do we use all the wording carryover?
Everything but the $500 fine. The state statute does allow a $50 fine or an expressly written up to $500 fine. But we didn't do the fine, given there's some questions about the
Okay.
legitimacy of that and if you're even gonna get it.
Right.
What's the point if you're gonna get it?
And a lot of it will come down to town property.
Yeah, public spaces,
Adjournment,
You need a motion, I'll make that motion.
all in favor? Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.